If you've ever tried running ads for your gym and they flopped, it's not your fault. It's probably one of these 8 mistakes. So before you spend another dollar on ads for your gym, watch this entire video because 90% of gym owners fail with paid ads for one of these exact reasons. So let's jump over to the iPad real quick and we're going to walk through each one of these one by one. And by the way, if you haven't started running ads for your gym yet and you're considering it, make sure you watch this video from beginning to end because these 8 reasons are going to be the things you want to avoid when you start running your own ads. So the first reason that I see is that they're running generic offers. You're going to blend in like a lot of your competitors. It's just too similar. If you're running free trials, free 6-week challenges, things like that, they've seen it a million times. It's nothing new and it's not specific to them and their goals. And when it's something similar to your competitors and it's something that they scroll past every day, it's not going to be exciting. It's not going to stand out to them. But what does work is having an irresistible offer for the right person. Having an offer that speaks directly to the pain points and the dreams and the desires of that specific type of person is going to perform way better. You're also going to be very different from your local competition, and you're going to be able to directly tie your program and your offer to their dream outcomes. Now, reason number 2 is they're speaking to everyone. This kind of ties into speaking to a specific person, but if you're speaking to everyone, you're going to get no one. And if it doesn't speak to specific problems, it's just not going to convert. People are just not going to interact with that ad the same way, and you're going to get a lot of those low quality, cheap leads that when you call them, they're just like, what is this again? Because it didn't tie to a specific problem that they have, so they're not going to remember it as well. And when you're speaking to everyone, the call outs in your ad are also just too weak. But what does work is calling out your dream client in the ad, having a direct call out to the specific person that you are looking for that is the best fit at your gym. You also speak to their specific pains and problems, the things that they're experiencing on a daily basis that they want to solve that you can help them with. Also, you need to qualify in the ad. If you're speaking to a specific person and you've identified who that dream client is for your gym, you can actually qualify in the ad for those types of people. Number 3 is just running crap creatives and copy. If you're using stock photos and bland graphics, it's just going to blend in with all the other stuff on social media that people are running because that's what's easiest. And a lot of the other businesses around you are going to default to what's easiest. If your ad copy is just long, confusing, and boring text, people aren't going to read it all anyway. And if there's no clear call to action. So what does work is attention grabbing images and videos, things that are specific, that look like you, that feel like you, they're your brand. It's attractive imagery that actually is inspiring towards their goals or speaks directly to their pain. You have clear, concise, and emotional copy. When I say emotional copy, I'm talking about actually speaking to their day-to-day life. You know you have it right when your leads tell you that it was speaking directly to them and what they're going through. When a copy is emotional, it's going to be more memorable. So make sure that you're actually speaking to their pain points and their biggest dreams and desires when it comes to the specific problem that you're helping them face. And you need a strong, clear call to action, meaning if this is you and you are ready to stop doing these things and start getting these results, take this next step. So you need a clear call to action in your ad. Number 4, there's no clear next step. It fails because the ad doesn't explain what's next. The leads are left wondering what to do next after they opt in, and the process is long and complicated. But what does work is having a clear ad, offer, and steps on what to do next. The lead knows exactly what's next after they opt in. They need to book a call. Do they need to come in for an intro or a consult? Whatever that next step is, it needs to be very clear in your process. Make it easy for them. If they're the right fit and they qualify, make it as easy as possible. And reason number 5 that I see gym owners fail with running their own ads is that they're not tracking their KPIs. If you have no idea what your cost per lead, cost per appointment, or your CAC, your cost to acquire a customer is, how can you know if your ads are actually working? And how do you know you're going to be profitable from them? You need those numbers. You need that data. So if you don't have those things, you can't tell if your ads are working and you're just wasting money without that data. But what does work is tracking your numbers weekly and monthly, just taking a look, seeing exactly what your cost per lead, cost per appointment, your CAC, all of those things are. Looking at the cash collected, you can quickly see if you're winning. Also, when you have data, you know when you should turn things off or if you should increase them to scale. You need to use data to guide every decision with your ad. It's that simple. And when you rely on the data, you remove the emotion from it and it's way easier to win. Reason number 6 I see gym owners fail with ads is they have poor follow-up, right? They only send 1 to 2 texts, maybe an email, and then they just give up on that lead. They expect leads to sign up instantly. That's just not going to happen. We're running ads to cold traffic essentially on social media. or you're building an audience. But either way, you still need to reach out to them. And if your leads are ignored after the first contact, then this is going to be a very expensive endeavor. But what does work is speed to lead, getting to those leads as quickly as possible. Now, there's a lot of things you can do so you don't have to manually text and call people, but you have to have speed. I saw a statistic on a study a couple months ago that said the average American sees like 7,000 to 10,000 ads every single day. And that's not just on social media on their phone, that's like on TV and billboards and all that stuff too. But the fact of the matter is, we're bombarded with ads. So when someone sees your ad, the faster you can get to them with a text or a phone call, the more likely they are to remember the ad and exactly what they opted in for. You also need to nurture them via email, SMS calls, maybe even DMs on social media. People have notifications turned off on certain channels. Like you might not be receiving your email notifications. Also, emails can go to spam or your promotions folder. A lot of the time people have do not disturb set on their phone, but a DM might get through. If you double call, voicemail, text, you might be able to get through. So you have to try nurturing via all of these channels so that you can get their attention. Also, you need continued nurture and future follow-ups. I want you to keep in mind that when you're running ads on social media and you're going to a cold audience, a third of your leads are going to be ready to take that next step, whether it's booking an appointment, coming in for an intro consultation, whatever it is. You're going to have a third of people that are going to need some time to actually make that decision. You need to build a relationship with them. You need to nurture them a little bit. You need to send them some emails, some content. They need to see more before they're convinced or they're willing to take the time. And then you're going to have a third of people that just aren't a great fit. So you have those three buckets. And if you don't have continued nurture and run future offers, you're going to miss out on that middle bucket. So you want to make sure you have speed to lead, but also don't forget to nurture them over a long period of time. And reason number 7 gym owners fail with ads is funny to me, but it happens a lot. It's when they're expecting an instant ROI from their ads. Now, if you expect sales overnight, you're going to quit after one bad week. And they're treating their ads as a gamble, not a skill. It's just like working out or learning a martial art. If you just started going to the gym and you're 30 pounds overweight, you're not going to have a six-pack tomorrow. It's going to take time to burn those calories so that you get those visible abs. Or if you go to learn a martial art like jiu-jitsu, the first several months as a newbie, you're going to get trashed and rolling. You have to go through a period of time where you have to learn the skills so that you can actually compete. And it's similar with ads. You actually have to learn the skill. But once you do, this is a skill that pays very well. So you have to be smart and think long-term and about the compounding effects of learning that skill and running your own ads. You have to be willing to pay to learn early on so that you can be profitable in the future. So what works is treating ads as an invaluable skill that once you learn it, you can take $1 and turn it to $5 or $10 very quickly and very easily. All right, moving on to number 8. You have no long-term nurture. I touched on this a little bit earlier, but if you're only chasing new leads and if your leads are forgotten quickly, if they don't respond to your texts or phone calls, and you're only relying on short-term sales, then this is going to be a lot more expensive. You're not going to get as high of a return on your ad spend than you would if you have a long-term nurture, email, and SMS in place. You have ongoing database reactivations to re-engage with those past leads to get them back in your doors. Also running retargeting ads to stay top of mind with those prospects. And if you want to find out what it would look like for me to install the stupid simple ad system for you in your gym, the same one that generated 120 members in 60 days for one of my clients recently, just reach out. It's a total game changer. If you want to stop paying agencies, if you never want to rely on anyone else for leads again, and finally get full control of your own ads and build that skill, then I'd be happy to help. Now, those are the 8 common reasons I see gym owners fail when it comes to running their ads. And just one of those mistakes can be very costly when it comes to the effectiveness and the return on your ad spend. So to summarize this entire video, make sure you're running offers to your ideal customers. Identify who that person is. Make good ads. Make sure they stand out. They're scroll stopping. They look completely different than your competition. Make sure you have a clear call to action in the ad and clear next steps throughout the entire process. Track your KPIs and know your numbers on a weekly and monthly basis so that you know when your ads are actually performing and you're profitable. Make sure you're following up with all your leads as quickly as possible and continue to follow up with them for the long term. And probably most importantly, be patient. Focus on learning the skill, getting better and better at these things over time so that someday in the near future, every dollar you spend on ads turns into 5 or 10.